Okay, hey y'all. Hey, this your girl Rissa M, baby, and I'm back with another episode of R&B Nation Talk. Y'all, today is gonna be a good one. This one's gonna be litty. He just over there smiling away. This one is gonna really be lit because our special guest is the one and the only Jacked in Pod. And if y'all don't know about Jacked in Podcast, then you sleeping. You sleep. Like there's no way you don't know. Like if you've been on my page, you know who they are. And we actually have the host of Jacked in Pod here, Metal X2. Metal, what's
What's good, y'all?
good?
What up?
What's
What up,
good?
though?
We done railed them in.
Now I got to greet y'all the way my homies do in Detroit. What up, though? Hopefully y'all good.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, yeah, like I said, y'all, this one was important to me because if you know, and let me make sure I get you real quick. If you know, the very first interview that I've done was with Jack Dan Pod. Like when nobody else was looking at your girl, offering up to have me on their show. I mean, they did, and so I can't do nothing but respect that. Like. So that's why it was so important to me. And have you been on any other? Has anybody else ever interviewed you?
This is the first.
What? Okay.
Look at each other, popping each other's cherries and stuff. This is
Okay,
just
that's
great.
that is what's up. That is what's up.
Uh,
So before we jump into this thing, how have you been doing? How's the new year been treating you?
New year so far. This is day number 3 into it, and things have been well. Honestly, I can't complain. Things have been well. I didn't get to open it with as much video games as I thought I would, but we got the rest of the year for that. So things
That's
is
true.
good.
That's true. That's true. We just in the beginning, right? We're just in the beginning. So
So
what'd you do for the new year? How'd you bring it in?
how'd I bring in the new year? Well. Right now, the province of Ontario is under lockdown. So I was at a super secret top location that cannot be discussed due to people not being able to gather in certain places. So I would not disclose how many people was at this venue or what venue that I was at. But just know that I brought it in with, a few friends, family, and we run the new year like we always do.
So you was cutting up.
You already know. Shoot, I
Cutting
posted a
up.
video. I'm like, it's 2021, man. Let's go, y'all. Let's go.
That's what's up. So it sounds like you partied enough for all of us. Well, you partied enough for me because we were just at the house.
hmm
We were just at the house. Like, so hopefully you got a shot in for me, while you was at it.
Yeah, yep, yep. I drank a shot of, I took a shot of brake fluid. You know what I'm saying, AKA Henny. I'm just,
Not the brake fluid. Not the brake fluid.
yeah. I joke with it all the time, but yeah,
That's
I
I'm
took a
gonna have
shot
to
of
use
that.
that way.
hmm
And so what I want you to do is tell everyone who you are and what it is you do without going into deep description. That way we can just break it down from there. First,
Okay, that's what's up.
I'm gonna start off with wanting to know, how did you come up with your name, Metal X2?
See, I've never been asked this question before, and I'm actually about. This is a real good one. So I gotta follow me because I'm old school. So, MetalX2, it came originally. It's a shortened version of my full online name was Metal Shadow, and I had that name because I used to role play on the Yahoo chats back in the day. I my character was it was a character based off of Auron from Final Fantasy X,
Mm-hmm.
but his appearance was one of the Organization 13 members from Kingdom Hearts, and that's basically was his persona that I created. So I carried Metal Shadow from there, and a lot of websites that had Metal Shadow taken it was Metal Shadow X2,
Mm-hmm.
and I end up having that, but then I realized it was too long. And I'm like, oh shoot. But I know a lot of people just call me Metal or whatever. So I was like, why not just shorten? And I got the X2 portion because I absolutely love the love story behind Final Fantasy X2. I absolutely, absolutely loved it. So much so that, I wanted my love story just to be like Yuna and Tidus's. But so I took the X2 from there and I dropped it
Sorry.
after after Metal, and that's where Metal X2 come from.
That's what's up. I wasn't expecting you
Yeah.
to. I now want to go Google it.
I tell you, I
I'm ready
tell
to
you.
go Google it now. That is interesting. That's pretty
Yeah.
lit though. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know nobody with metal in a name, a metal X, a metal. I don't know. Why I feel like I've never came
Yeah.
across anybody even with the metal shadow username. I guess I've been
Yeah.
hiding under a
So
rock.
I'll break it down just a little bit. So, in my character in the RP world, his name was Metal Shadow because his ability, he had gloves on, and he kind of sort of had rogue's abilities where anything he touched after his gloves come off, he could
Hmm.
turn anything into solid or liquid metal. So he wore gloves all the time, and that's where he got his name from there. But he also had the quickness and agility. Where he could basically fade in and out of shadows. So he was he's a traveling guardian that was hired on demand for people that needed to go from place to place. You would basically hire him. And from ability to be able to turn himself into solid metal and to turn anything he touched into solid or liquid metal. Completely insane.
That's interesting. I'm glad that I got
Yeah.
the story behind. I've been wondering. I was trying to save it so that we could get the ins and outs of it. I love it though. I love it. It's pretty lit. And so,
Mhm.
what is it that you do?
What is it that I do? Well, besides playing video games, which is I enjoy doing, I had a love for speaking to people. I love meeting new people. I love interacting with people. Shout out to my brother, Six Rings. He introduced me to a podcast that um, it was called Too Full to Function that we did with some friends of ours, and I completely loved the element of being there. Like it was just like I can do this, but I was waiting on him to do it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is something we could do every week, and we just kept running into problems here and there. And I was like, okay, you know what? I tabled it for a little bit, but then after, like, I really want to do this. I really want to jump forward with it. I ran into my boy Tristan, which got Josh. The next thing we knew, Jack Dan Podcast was born. So before that, I was streaming, full time. But a lot of people don't understand when you play video games.
Hmm.
It's one thing to play video games, but then it's one thing to stream.
That's true.
And if you don't put streaming and video games, they don't sit in the same category by so because it takes a lot of work to do it. You have a crowd, you have people that you have to, be able to entertain. And sometimes I just want to just cut the camera, which is not streaming, just play video games. And that I've noticed a lot more of that. So I kind of fell off with streaming and just
Hmm.
start supporting people full time. And so between playing video games, supporting people full time, and then my podcast, I'm learning that I do like streaming and I
Hmm.
have a reason to stream now because I get to meet more people more with a more focus with pushing the podcast out and say, hey y'all, I like playing games too, so come play games with me. I'll check out my podcast at the same time.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So as y'all can hear, he's a streamer and a podcast host. The
Yeah, yeah,
founder of Jack Dan Pod. Am I correct?
that is correct. Founder and host.
Founder and host. And so,
Hmm.
speaking of streaming, and everybody here know that you're a gamer. How long have you been playing video games? At what age would you say you started?
Ooh, I started playing video games. Shoot, my brother gonna know this question. This answer to this question. I've been playing whenever Super Nintendo and Super Mario World came out. When that bundle came out, and old school service merchandise. That's gonna tell you my age. When service merchandise was a thing, it was just it was one of those things where I can't remember. I think it was like six or seven, and that's when I got into it. It was
Uh-huh.
just craziness. Yeah.
6 or 7.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, it was around that age.
So what was your first console that you played?
Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo. Okay, let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go. Let's go.
yeah.
So, and I ask everybody this question: um, if you could pick one game, it was the end of the world. They said he starts sweating. It's the end of the world, and you can only pick
Oh shoot.
one game to play. Like they say, hey, end of the world. You can pick one game. What game would it be? What would you say is your favorite game of all times? That's my question.
That's hard as heck. Favorite game of all time.
All
That
times,
is.
like.
I mean, so I have a favorite game of all time. I got some RPG games that I play, but you can only play those games once. So, but if it's a game that I'm completely playing over and over and over again of all time, I'm gonna have to say it's Smash. Like honestly, that's the one game I can pick up over
Smash?
and over.
Really?
Yeah, I can pick up Smash over and over. Play that over and over. It's just, yeah. I feel like I can do that. I can do that all day.
Yeah, because you do have your little in his Discord. He has a whole channel dedicated to Smash.
Yep.
Uh, where they meet
Shout
up
out to
to
Smash
go.
Central.
Yeah. So he be in that thing deep. So I'm kind of not surprised, but I am surprised that was your favorite game of all times. Like, man,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, no.
I mean,
Shout
ain't
out
there,
to Smash.
yeah, he say shout out to them. Look, they need to sponsor. We're gonna need for them to sponsor you. The way you be repping they ish.
Oh man, well, it's a lot more people. It's a lot more people be repping that hard. But just from a few of the founder members. Shout out to my boy Stripes,
Hmm.
Loco, Keys, my boy Havoc. Six Strings and that boy as well. Azul Scorpion, like all of like we actually legit. My boy TJ, we play Smash for real on the regular, and I appreciate all the support they've been giving me with pushing the community. Like literally when I get on now, I don't even have to hit public matches anymore. I just be jumping on and just running the friendly matches, and we just be going out loud. And now that we got the Discord, we could talk our crap as we all in the same room while playing at the same time.
That's what's up. That is. If I ever get the game, I'm sliding through there. You best believe, cause y'all be making me want to get it, and I'm not even big up on those type of games, but y'all be making me want to get in that thing. And so, tell me something. How
Man.
long have you been streaming?
How long have I been streaming? Oof. I've been streaming for 4 years. I've been
Hmm.
streaming for 4 years. Yeah,
Okay.
4
Okay.
years I've been streaming. Oh.
And so you stream on Twitch. Have you streamed on any other platform besides Twitch?
I've been trying to do my best streaming like on Restream with Facebook Live. I did a little bit of YouTube, but mostly it's Twitch.
Hmm. How was your experience on
Yeah.
YouTube and on Facebook?
I'm with Facebook, I'm still tapping it. I still love to try to do Facebook because Facebook is those people that won't click twitch.tv link, but they'll scroll through and stop and be like, oh wait, that boy John, that boy Metal, like, oh, okay, I'm gonna sit and watch him, and I'll be able to school and then bring him known people. So yeah, it's just I could be able to do that as well.
Okay, that's what's up. So
Uh,
and so as far as YouTube, which platform did you like streaming on? Even though you're streaming on Twitch, what made you ultimately go with Twitch? Decide that Twitch was your home where you wanted to stream full time.
because it's back when I started, it was just I wanted to be in the groove where everybody else was at. I started to stream and go a little bit in the mixer direction, but I felt that mixer was in the island by itself and it wasn't gonna last long. I mean, TikTok, it ended up falling through the cracks and closing up shop. I ended up
Mm-hmm.
doing an episode on it. So I went back to Twitch full time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was wondering, because I know I've seen your Twitch channel, which I want to shout out whoever it was that made that overlay for your Twitch. Your Twitch
Oh,
overlay is
hell, okay. Well,
fire,
no, my old
man.
one and a new one, the same person.
Oh, really? Fire,
Yeah, so
fire.
shout out to my boy Evermore,
Yeah.
Evermore Standard. He does a lot of custom fight sticks.
Mm-hmm.
He does overlays as well. But shout out to my boy Evermore.
Yeah, yeah, I thought that was lit when I saw it. For y'all that have not been in stream with him, he actually has a whole little mascot. It's pretty neat. It's one of a kind, is what I would say. It's definitely one of a
Mm.
kind. So yeah. Okay, and so even though I know you've kind of went in a little bit on Jacked In, I kind of want to shift over back to Jacked In Pod.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to know is how did you come up with the name Jacked In Pod? How was that
Uh,
name? How did you come up with that name?
the name Jacked In podcast came from I was trying to build around the word jacked, like, get jacked. And I even got there because I was, looking at it a couple different podcasts and trying to come up with your brand name. And I
Mm-hmm.
was trying to get something that's, kind of exclusive, not exclusive, full of action. Like, what can you
Mm-hmm.
do? What can you do with it instead of something that's more laid back? And that's where jacked in came from. I'm thinking like, okay, you're thinking more plugged in, you plug up, stay hooked in, stay jacked in. And I was like, oh, okay, that's what it is. And I looked up everywhere. I looked up Jacked In podcast. So there is Jacked In a lot of things, but there is no podcast for Jacked In. There's products Jacked In, but nothing that's trademark Jacked In podcast. So we actually have the trademark website, jackedinpodcast.com, maybe jackedinpodcast.ca, because we're a Canadian-based podcast. So we actually have that. So I actually have, the email address rights to, anything at jackedinpodcast.com or .ca.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I was wondering.
Yeah.
And you came up with that by yourself.
Well, I did was so I'm not gonna lie, I didn't come up with it by myself. I came up with it with my co-host, Tristan and Josh. We were all, trying to brainstorm and come up with different promo things. Tristan was coming up with some logos that we were kind of brainstorming, and we eventually came up to, again, shout out to my brother. I also got to shout
Hmm.
out to my family too. My family's been very,
I was just about to ask
supportive.
about that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Like they even pushed me. Shout out to my boy, Six Rings, my brother. He came up with the logo,
Hmm.
and I mean, he just come
Oh,
through. It's just
really?
I like the way
That's
he
what's
stuff up
up.
with stuff man quick. He just, all right, Chris, this is exactly what I need. He just come through. Okay, 2 seconds, boom, here it is. Like, so effortless. So my logo is, even though Evermore kind of did a twist to it for the overlay, the
Hmm.
original logo that's on our Spotify, Google Podcasts, on all of our podcasting logos, that original logo belongs to him. I got a whole lot of new beats set up for season 2 right now.
Hmm.
Currently, my intro and outro song, again, Six Rings. He's
Oh,
a
really?
music up and coming music artist. He dropped his single Flex. I was hitting
I've
it
heard it.
like I
I've heard it. It's
I
litty.
was hitting that.
I'm not gonna lie.
So yeah, I literally I started just running that through everything. I had that as my intro and outro. Right now, my brother-in-law does my beats on the back on behind my podcast when you listen to it. So I wanted to have like a smooth, like kind of what do you call it? Like a smooth lounge type feeling, like an urban lounge feel, like when you listen to it. So the beats kind of collaborate with it. So I got that going too. So everything is done in the family. So when I promote myself, I promote them because they
That's
are
what's
me and
up.
I'm them. So that's how we
Already.
run.
That's what I'm talking about. Rep them then. So let them know. At least
That's
you're
this
giving
is
them
what it
credit
is.
where credit is due. I love it. I love it. And
Oh yeah, for
so
sure.
I'm glad that she was able to break that down. And so when it came to you actually starting the podcast, I know in the beginning that you mentioned that Tristan, right?
Yeah,
And
Tristan, yeah.
he was one of the original hosts on the show. Um,
Correct.
Okay, could you tell us a little bit more about how it started like cuz I know it started with you three.
Right. All right.
And
So the
whose
way it
idea was
started
it?
was Yeah, the way it started was we wanted to do our own thing, but I also had a vision to do a podcast with a publication,
A
a online
publication.
journalism publication. So
Okay.
there was a online journal, video game journal, that they dropped news, called Jack of All Controllers,
Okay, I remember you saying
and
that.
they had the information there. So my goal was to publish, like podcast episodes through their website, but I wanted us to become our own entity because at the end of the day, I wanted it to be, whether Jack then lived on or whether Jack of All Controllers lived on, pushed forward, however way it went, I wanted us to not be reliant on someone else. So we decided to, do our own thing, and I ended up was actually a part of the staff there at Jack of All Controllers for that time.
Mhm.
And I ended up working with Tristan and said, okay, let's get a podcast going because, I want to be able to do something. And then Tristan said, okay, let me go. I got this boy named Josh, he's into it. So we got Josh. I was like, we got 3 people. Okay, we all set. But then none of us knew how to go forward from that. So I pretty much said, okay, you know what? If we like, I really want this. I'm hungry for this. I'll take it and run with it. And that's pretty much what I did. I took it and run with it from that point. And that's how it was born. It was born. Well, we were gonna start launching it in December of 2019.
Mhm.
It didn't happen in December. We were getting our equipment together, mics and all that jazz, and so it ended up coming into fruition in the third week of January, which we're actually coming up on to our 1 year anniversary in 2 weeks, actually.
Yeah, congrats on that. Congrats. Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that. I mean, a year.
Yep.
Consistent. And I've listened to a lot of over time, over these last 2 months. I'm gonna say last month. I've listened to a lot of the episodes, and I just want to say I love the vibe. I love what you guys are doing. Um, I find myself driving to the grocery store just listening and laughing. It's perfect. Like everything about it is perfect. And so I do want to say congrats. It's not many gaming podcasts out here with people of color. I'm just saying.
That's true. That's
Mm-hmm.
true. And I like the fact that ours is, even though I'm a person of colors, where it's completely,
Mm-hmm.
multicultural. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we got my boy Josh on, and even though the three of us was on, even though
Mm-hmm.
now it's just my boy Josh, but we both hit at things in completely
It's
different
very
directions.
diverse,
Exactly. Yeah,
but you don't see that.
that's very
You
true.
don't see
Mm.
that. That's my point. And I probably didn't word that well, but you get what I'm saying. Like you just don't see
Yeah,
that.
I got you.
Like, yeah. And so, yeah, and another thing that I want to ask is what is the main focus of Jacked In Pod? Like, what is your main focus?
So the main focus of Jacked In Pod is we are a weekly video game news podcast. We are have a spice of comedy, driven by food, because when you're playing games, I mean, what else do you need besides a bathroom? You need food.
Mm-hmm.
So our beginning topics that we talk about is our appetizer. The guest that whether we bring a guest on or not. Our heavier topics are our entrees, and then we
Mm-hmm.
have our nuggets for the end, like news things that we may not be able to bridge into a full topic, but it's things that we want to rattle off, run through. Like this game's came with PS Plus this week. This game is on sale. This DLC is dropping. So this is our nugget session. But we actually talk about the latest food trends. Like, I mean, the one episode I was crying laughing on was when in Canada KFC decided to make their Monday deal half off all the buckets of chicken. And when I tell you, Canada broke the website. The people were waiting outside in the middle of a pandemic, a line that wrapped around the
Mm-hmm.
restaurant, went into the next door parking lot at the bank, and it was just completely and utter ridiculousness. But people wanted that chicken, so it is what it is.
You was one of them people though.
Actually, I was not. When I drove by seeing that line, honey, let me tell you, I got on the line. I was on hold for 45 minutes, but I canceled my order and I said, we not going to do this. We is not about to do this.
So
Not
you
today.
didn't have no chicken that night. You was like,
No, I
screw
certainly
it. It
did
was like
not.
that
I,
chicken.
I certainly, even though I had like $60 of chicken ordered and I only had 30, I only had to pay $30 for it. Once I seen that line, I was like,
You
no,
bounced.
canceled.
So
And it was raining too.
and it was
Mm-mm.
raining. Nah, they play too much. Ain't
No,
no way.
shoot.
Ain't no way. So they was in line like how they were with the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Sure.
You
That line was worse. It felt like that looked like that In and Out line
seriously?
that when it opened up, and I think it was like Texas or something when they brought In and
Yeah.
Out to the middle. Ridiculous,
That
ridiculous.
is too funny. And so you did.
Mm-mm.
I know that you mentioned that your family really supports what it is that you do. I know you mentioned your fam. How did they feel when you came to them? Because you were streaming before you became a podcast host, and so when you came to them
True.
about streaming, about gaming online, like how did they feel about that? What was their response? Because I know a lot of people when they hear you gaming online, it can be confusing if you're not a gamer. And so,
That's very true.
what was your family's response to it?
They was pretty much like, they're very supportive. I dropped it in and they're just like, oh, we gonna listen to it. My sisters
Oh,
listened to it. My mom listened to it. My shout out to my sister Olivia. She actually named one of my episodes. We talked about uh all of the prejudice to girls that game and how Twitch was going out of their way to cover up all of the sexist like moves,
mm-hmm.
advances toward female streamers and what they were doing to cover all that up. And they she came out with the title, Faded Voices, a call to girl gamers. And I was like, yo, that title is so deep. Girl, what you talking
Man,
about with
yeah.
this?
Which
So
what
I ended up
episode?
renaming it. You know what? That is a good question. I don't remember which episode that is offhand.
I need to go
Um,
back because I haven't heard that one. Wait a
yeah, yeah,
minute.
no, that was a
Uh-huh.
good episode. We actually went into detail and let me see, faded. Oh gosh,
Yeah,
of course my
I'm definitely going to check that out because I didn't see that one. But y'all like
Okay,
50
so it's
something
it's
episodes
episode
in.
number 26.
Oh, okay.
And I had my boy Marcel MD14. Shout out to him. Shout out to Silky C. We actually had kind of like a panel conversation on that episode, talking about the challenges that female gamers has to go through when they want to
Mm,
stream. when they want to have to, be able to go there. They shouldn't have to feel less than because they're going up against, whether it's in a tournament setting, whether it's going up against a male gamer, they shouldn't have to feel less than in any kind of facet market. Even like shout out to Lady Infamous 415. Like she loves to see gamers, girl gamers who play Call of Duty. Like you shouldn't be in an instance where just because you got killed by a female gamer, oh, she's whack, oh, she don't know how to game. Like that shouldn't even come up in discussion. Go get good, come back, and then hopefully beat her. And then don't beat her just because she's a girl. Beat her because she's better than you. Right? That's
okay.
That's all it
preach. Preach
all
on it. I felt
day.
that. I felt that in my soul. Like, damn.
Yeah,
that's what's up. That's what's up. And so, what are some things that you wish that you would have known about? Like, because I know when you started your podcast, like you said, you knew nothing, which made it a little bit challenging when starting. What are some things that you wish you would have known when you first started your podcast?
Don't put music in the background that makes people want to fall asleep.
Really? For real?
Don't do that.
How did you figure that one out?
Because I was trying to find royalty-free music, and I had some royalty-free spa music, and I threw that behind there, and it was just like, nah.
Did you just say spa music?
Yes.
Who said something to you about it?
I had a lot of sources.
Oh gosh. They was like, boy, if you don't get that spa elevator, no.
No.
So I'm just playing.
My wife was going ham about that. She said, "Nah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna sound good." I'm like, "No, it is gonna sound good. Don't worry about it." Like, nah, don't play it. Nah, it's not gonna sound good. As soon as I heard it back, I'm like, "Nah, this don't sound good. Now we gotta do something different."
If the wifey said it, it means something. So it had to go on that note.
And not in all cases, but
nope. I stand behind her now. He said, okay. Okay. So
I needed to change it up.
And so it was the music. The music is the one thing that you would have done differently. And I've listened to your very first. I finally went back and listened to that very first episode.
And
it was different.
I'm telling you. Can I tell you? Can I tell you that is our most listened to episode? Is our first one.
The progress. That's all I can say. Yes. Y'all made a lot of progress.
A whole lot. Like,
and I'm a little fish. I can't even just be talking because I'm a little fish. But I was over there cracking up, and I think I'm not gonna lie, I listened to the whole thing so I could laugh because you brought it up to me before saying that go back and listen to that first one. It's this and that, and I was listening to it. I think I heard somebody Discord going off in the back. It was ding ding ding. I thought I heard a baby crying. I was like, this is quality content. A little echo, a little static. It was too funny. And it was
Don't kill me. Don't kill me. It was quality content, all right.
It was quality content. That was my favorite one.
The only one gonna sound like that. The only one. Shoot.
That was my favorite
one.
Actually,
I take that back. There was one episode that my mic was messed up, and I forgot to flick on my negative 10 decibel on it, so it wasn't picking up my whole room. So I would sound like I was talking to an aluminum can. But I had to switch that. But ever since then, we have been using RTX voice. So we have been producing quality studio sound with the power of RTX.
Pick it up.
Okay. So,
I don't care. If you are new to Jack the Empire, you have to go watch the first episode and then the very last one. So you can do the comparison. And it's not a bad thing, though, because it shows what I like about the first episode is it wasn't perfect. And it shows the progress from that first episode all the way, you know what I'm saying, to what, episode 54, right? You're 54 episodes in, right? And so it shows that progress 54. From the first to episode 54, and for me, it spoke to me in a way with me being new. And I'm gonna say the reason why it spoke to me because it was like I'm so busy trying to make things perfect. When I put out my first couple of episodes, it's okay for it to not be perfect. It just shows the progress over time. So that's the way it spoke to me. So I really first episode was my fave. I'm not gonna lie, very inspirational.
Your favorite
It's the
girl, get
first
out
one.
of here,
The
man. Your
ghetto.
favorite.
The ghetto.
You know,
You know I had
whatever.
to get you back for that iPhone stuff on episode 50.
Listen,
Not,
listen.
definitely not
Because
gonna
you
let you
did,
live it
because I
down.
was right. I read you your rights without even knowing it, and I was spot on.
And
So
then
don't
told me
even.
you gonna pack my opinion up and sit it out on the porch. That was take it out the door. That was
Hey,
cold. I ain't forgot.
at least I paid for priority shipping. Like,
That's
I ain't hold.
cold. That's why Josh my friend. Josh got my back.
Whatever. I paid for priority shipping with that, but you was good.
That's what's up. So I'm glad that we got to, know how Jacked In started, how it started, where you are now. What are your future plans for Jacked In Pod? Like, what do you want to see yourself 5 years from now?
Man, where I want to see myself 5 years, I want to have a gathering spot to where right now we do 9 o'clock on Wednesdays. That's when we do it. I wanted to check off and started doing live episodes, kind of like this platform. That's one thing I was bigging you up about. I'm like, sure, you got live episodes. I dig that 100%. And it's been on my heart to do live episodes, but I felt like at the time when I started it, I wanted us to be consistent with the recorded episodes first because I knew a lot of the stuff that I was having to pick up, I was gonna have to pick it up by myself, and I didn't know that this was something I was going to be able to do. I didn't want to pick up more and then not be able to do it, and then I can't do this anymore, and then run into problems. So I understand. Let's just do a recording because I edit my own episodes. I do all of that by myself, 100%. And my boy Josh now he does a lot of the tweeting on Twitter, so he holds that down. But I didn't want to get into the video editing and then me start messing up. So, but right now for season 2, which actually, hold on, let me see. Season 2 comes out on the 20th, which
Oh
is 2 days after our first year anniversary. We have, no, I take that back. Our season 2 drops on the 13th because we have one more episode left on the 6th, so we're actually going to be leading up to that, and that will be episode 55. Season 2 is going to have fully live episodes. We're going to have full live where you can actually see faces, and then you could be able to actually go through and be able to hear them on your favorite podcast platforms as well. And that's one thing I want to do. So leading up to this, I started doing it so we can go in full swing. I'm going to start booking. Actually, not start. I've kind of already started booking for season 2, but I want to try to get a whole new cast for season 2, and go through and just basically bless as many people as I can, because I ran a thank you credits in December for all the people who came on to our season 1 on Jack Tent podcast, and they were like, wait, you had this many great guests? And I'm like, trust me, as I go back and look at it, I'm like, yo, like this was absolutely crazy. And if I can get that many people, different new faces, I mean, I probably most likely pull some original faces back, to complement certain things, but my goal is to try to get as many fresh faces as I can. So I mean, Jacked In Podcast, we could be one big happy family, because at the end of the day, a lot of people stream and a lot of people don't get enough credit for streaming for the work that they put in. And that's the same thing. That's what I want to do. So as bad as I need to, as my brother's telling me right now, I need to shine the light. As bad as I need to shine my light on my face right now, I'm gonna use that same light and shine it on people that's on,
Not.
page 6 or 7 on Twitch when you pull up a game, and not be able to see those people at the bottom, because it feels kind of defeating sometimes being I know, because I was there, and sometimes to be the best leader you would have had to be a follower, and it was very defeating down there. But sometimes giving that boost of energy, like, oh, you know what, yeah, let's go talk about what you're doing. You consistent, consistently getting on streaming this. Hey, I want to put you to the side, I want to talk. And that's actually how I found you. I've seen the content that you was pushing. Doing my little scoping. I'm sitting back on a mountaintop, my binoculars, like, all right, I see risks out there. Let me go scoop her real quick. And shine some light on. I'm like, yo, man, she hype. Her whole community is hype. Yo, man, let's hype that up a little bit.
That's what's
that's
up.
where.
Oh,
That's,
thank you.
yeah, that's Jacked In Podcast for you.
So sweet. Thank you, man. Okay, I'm honestly, this was nice. Like, I feel like I learned more about you. I feel like I learned a whole lot more about you than what we knew. Now, when y'all pull up Jacked In Pods, y'all gonna see it say Josh and John. Yes, I'm putting your government name out there.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And so
Ain't nothing
yeah,
wrong with
so
that.
when you guys look it up, it will definitely it's him and Josh. Josh is cool people too. Josh is my fave.
No, she didn't. That's fine.
I'm
That's
kidding.
fine. And Josh, I know you're hearing this too. And you know what? I appreciate you staying in the cut and not coming in chat with that business. So you holding the brother down, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm really kidding. It's just if you listen to episode 50, it'll make more sense. And so if y'all haven't listened to episode 50, your girl was on there, go listen to it. I've been hyping that episode up. That was the
Yeah.
most important one. I'm kidding. Make
Hey
sure y'all go
man,
listen to 50.
it was a hype episode. We was all feeding off each other's energy, so it was definitely hype. And that's another good thing about it. Even though we're talking about game content for that week and go, the whole thing is to bring some smiles. Have your reason to play, a podcast. If you playing a podcast and be like, yeah, so we're talking about Halo today and the many ventures of Master Chief and I'm like, I mean, you're not gonna want to turn on and listen to that. But like, man, y'all seen that dude in that green armor? Look like he didn't pick that mug up from the Value Village, all beat up and this and that. Like,
Okay,
I
giving us
like
some
you just,
tips.
like you just gotta bring a little bit of life to it. You know what I'm saying? And that also comes with me just being me. I love to go and try to brighten up the room. I mean, it ain't working right now because a lot of part of my face is dark. I wish I had some lighting
That's
here,
why I was
but
laughing
uh,
earlier when you said something about that your brother said something about the shining light on your face. I'm just too done.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been saying for a minute that I need to get me a light, but I didn't realize it because you got me over here looking like a whole shade darker, and then go on your side and you looking like and
No.
then and then it's just like yeah.
Damn. Damn, don't make me feel bad. But I
No, that
don't.
ain't
After
you.
after the iPhone talk, I don't.
No, you the one that's got the quality lighting over there. That's probably to make
Oh
same light you
Lord.
used to put your
But
makeup
that's
on so good. So
yeah,
look,
true.
yeah,
No.
exactly. I ain't got a reason to have a light on. Shoot, I need to get a light now.
Definitely, especially ooh, I was not trying to move that. I was not trying to move that. It wasn't locked in. That's okay. But with especially what you're about to start doing live, yeah, you do need to get you a light. That's true.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so maybe you could drop me some links for Amazon. I could buy me a little ring light, and then we'll go from there. We'll
Okay.
go from there.
Okay,
We'll go
definitely.
from there.
And I'll yeah, because I might hit you up needing information or needing to know stuff too, so we can help each other. And that's another thing that I like about him is that when I was needing advice about my own podcast, I was able to ask him for help, and he wasn't stingy with the information. Like,
Mm-hmm.
usually when you're in the same field with someone, everybody's kind of for themselves. And that's one thing
Right.
I can say about you is you're not for yourself. You do try to look out for the people that surround you, and I appreciate that. I really do.
We we all gotta eat out here. That's what it is. We all
Yeah,
gotta eat.
I really
Shoot.
do appreciate that. I do. So yeah, but okay, guys. This is the part right here where if anybody have any questions or any questions they want to ask, you guys are free to ask. Um, to anybody that's listening to this now, later on, I did live stream this. We normally live stream them all. And that's why it's nice to make the live stream, because if you ever have any questions, you can pop in and ask questions. I
Mm.
did create a link, which I think I already threw it down, where you guys can go and find his podcast. What are your socials? Like, what name do you go by on your socials?
Well, right now, I because MetalX2 is so unique. My personal account on all platforms is MetalX2. Facebook. I mean, everything is MetalX2. For Jack Dan Podcast, it's all Jack Dan Pod. From Instagram to Twitter. To right now, I'm popping in a little bit more active on Clubhouse.
Mm.
Jack Dan Podcast on Clubhouse too. So I'm trying to link in these other new places and see, hey, y'all need to understand what podcasting is and a little bit of game juice to it. Y'all gonna like hearing what you like listening what you're hearing. So it's what's up.
Yeah. He said we're free to ask. Yes, you are. No. No, for real. If y'all have any questions, y'all are free to ask them. What I wanted to ask you was, it was something I was gonna ask you when you said that. It was something I was going to ask you. I'm so mad that I lost it. It was something I wanted to ask you. I can't even remember at the moment. That's okay. It'll come back to me. Um, Cause we didn't touch most on your personal life, and I'm nosy. I know that you said you in Canada, but where are you from?
So I'm from Detroit, 313 for life. From Detroit,
Okay, rep it.
yeah, I moved to Toronto. Well, I moved to Canada 4 years ago. I moved to Ottawa first, and then moved to Toronto. So I've been stationed in Toronto for 10 years,
Hmm.
and I'm actually. It's so funny because I'm actually 10 minutes away. My co-host just moved, and we're literally just waiting for COVID to clear up. But we're gonna do a lot more hanging out. So we're literally 10 minutes away
Oh,
from each other.
cool. That's pretty cool. So, what
Yeah.
brought you to Canada?
What brought me to Canada? Well, I mean, it's a whole different mix of things. It's just trying to do something different. Like when you live in Detroit, you have to know that a lot of people in Detroit have a mindset where they feel like they can't be successful unless they do certain things, and and that's not true. But
Hmm.
I noticed a lot of my friends, they all moved out to be able to do successful things, but then they're also remembering that they never forget where they came from, and they're funneling everything back. And that's what I'm trying to do, the same thing too. Also, part of that is my wife ain't want to live in Detroit, so that's the biggest thing, because she's like, "Oh, Detroit is a bad place, this, and that." I'm just like, it's not even that bad, um, but,
So you got the
but
wifey. That's what's
yeah,
up.
yeah. But
Oh.
other than that, it's just, but a lot of it too. I was already set to move somewhere else because a lot of the racism that was in certain areas in the suburbs of Detroit, I want to do something
Mm.
different. But I will say, Canada is a lot more welcoming with it. As far as no matter what kind of skin color you are, no matter where you come from, they are a lot more welcoming. Of course, they still got their racism too. They just
Hmm.
approach it a little differently. But Canada's a lot more nicer, and I will say
Is
that.
it?
Yeah, I was in Ottawa. My car broke down. At least three people passed by at 9 o'clock at night, asking me, "Is everything okay?" Like I didn't feel
Wow.
like I had to
Hmm.
look over my shoulder as much as I did back home in Detroit. Certain places in Toronto now it's a little different, but even still, Toronto's not as bad as certain places in Detroit. So I
Hmm.
want to do something different there, and I feel like I should be gauged off of my work ethic and not by my skin color. Like I should be able to let my work
Definitely.
ethic speak by itself, and it truly has. Since I've been here, my work
Hmm.
ethic has spoke for itself, and I've made a lot of friends in high places, low places, and all over the place. So um yeah, that's what it is.
Most definitely. That's what's up. I wanted to be a little nosy. And then my last question: how many kiddos do you have? Because I've been in stream when one of your little
Hmm.
boys was on stream, and he is just the cutest.
Yeah,
I was
so
like,
so
he
I
need
have.
his own. He need his own channel. And
Oh.
I don't even come when you on there. I come when he on there. I'm there to watch
Oh
him.
my
Once you
gosh,
get back on camera, I'm like, all right, I got to go. No, I'm kidding.
I I let him stream one time, and I swear this kid was like in his own
He
element.
was.
He talking about, hey, stream, I'm playing this, and I'm just like,
He
well,
was a
dang,
natural.
I didn't
Hmm.
even look like that on my first stream. I'm like, shoot. Like, I'm all nervous that he just on there, just he just flowing. So my goal is to get a whole nother game, a whole nother computer set up, so I could get his stream going, because that's a passion of him, and that's one thing that my dad and mom did for me and my brother and my sisters growing up. They saw each what we were doing, and they targeted that thing specifically, and they helped pushed us. So me and
That's
brother
what's
got
up.
laptops when we were younger. My brother's a complete master with Photoshop, and it's just craziness. I deal with more of the like the IT part of computers. I deal with, like, I can build computers, virus removal. Like, that's like my bread and butter. Like, I do that's how I run my business. I make my money.
Hmm.
And they ended up pushing that a lot younger, so when I was younger. So now I'm older, I'm a little bit more wise in that field. But now that in this age, I'm saying him, he's younger, and he's talking about, oh, he wants to be like this streamer, this streamer, this
Oh,
streamer, and I'm
yeah.
like, okay, you know what? Well, let me help you out a little bit. Let me see if I can get you going. So if I can start him when he's young, and that's my goal. Where people want to get on and watch and build him a schedule, as long as his focus on school is straight, my goal is to get him streaming because he seems like he has a wonderful time with it. Like it's craziness.
Yeah, he just, yeah, when he was on it, I was like, oh, he's so cute. He was serious. He did not
Yeah.
want to give you your controller back. And
But
I'm
yeah,
in
I
the
have two.
background talking about, let that baby play. That's,
But I have two. I have an 8-year-old and a 15-year-old.
oh, okay, okay. Oh, cool. Okay, so you have three babies. That's what's up. Well, they two of them ain't babies no more, but.
No, no, I just have two. No, I just have
Oh,
two. I
you
have a
have two.
15
Wait,
and an
you said a
8-year-old.
12 and a 15 and an 8-year-old.
No, no, just a 15 and an 8-year-old.
Okay, he said, don't you be adding no more kids. I don't know why I thought you said a 15, a 12, and an 8-year-old. Okay, let me stop.
Mm,
I'm over here cussing him out now. No, I'm kidding.
mm.
Okay, guys. So, like I said, we are at the end. I made sure to throw down the link to Jacked In Podcast. If you hit that link, it takes you to all platforms that you can listen to the episodes on. Don't sleep on it. Jacked In Podcast is a podcast you can listen to at home, before you go to bed, when you're in the car. The environment is so chill and it's one of a kind. When I listen to the episodes, the whole vibe of the show just don't touch on other podcasts around. Like, it's just different. Everything about it is different. And so I promise, once you listen to at least one episode, you will be hooked.
Just not the first one. Just not the first one. Skip the first one.
Listen to the first one, and then
Oh
go
gosh.
ahead, and listen to the ones after. But and even if you don't listen to the first one, you know what I say, don't listen to the first one. Listen to one of the most recent one, and then go back to the first one. And that growth will, if that shit don't make you feel motivated, I don't know what the hell gonna make you feel motivated. Because
That's true.
even though, they might not have had the equipment or the software or whatever it was whatever you doing now, because I don't know what you're doing different now, but even though he didn't have that going on then, he still released that episode because it was a start. Sometimes you just got to start. That's what some people don't understand. You don't have to have everything. Sometimes just starting puts you in the place to where he is now. So, and I admire that. So, I think I told you that before too, that looking at how far you guys have grown has influenced me in a way. And so,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's,
appreciate that.
yeah, it's what's up. Like, I appreciate you for picking me to be on the show. Hell. And just glad
I
that I
got
could have you here. So, yeah. So, if
you.
don't
So,
nobody else have any questions for him, what was you about to say?
well, I will say this though. Like I've been dropping little shout outs, here and there, but I know like this is getting close to the end. But a special shout out to my Toronto fam. Y'all gave me a home away from home
Mm-hmm.
where I didn't have a home because I'm a people person and I love to thrive around, just getting to know different people. So I see my boy Echo 12 Delta in the chat. My boy Alex. This people
Yeah.
from here in Toronto. My boys from Smash Central.
Mm-hmm.
They also my Xbox fam too, a part of them. But a lot of them, we come together, we play Smash. A lot more. Like I said, my boy Keith, Stripes, TJ, Loco. And then Zoo Scorpion, Six Rings the Champ,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Havoc, just all of us, come together and playing Smash. I mean, shout out to y'all, and then shout out to my family.
That's what's
Y'all
up.
y'all been helping me even with doing this time. Like there was actually legit. I think it was in the 40s. I wanted to stop doing podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where this shout out to Josh. Like he was just like, nah, man, we came too far. Like we doing too many big things, man. Like, I still, I know you doing, most of the driving here, but no, man, you can't give up this and that. Like you got to keep going. I'm just like, man, but I don't want to do this to her. And this was actually right around the time where I lost my mother-in-law. This was in
Oh, I'm
September.
sorry.
And I just felt like, not want to do it anymore. And even though even in the mix of all that, I still somehow dropped that episode on Friday. And the week after that, it was a couple weeks after that, it was just where it was like really difficult. But I'm like, you know what? Even through all this, you just got to still be, you still got to be consistent. And, it's just trying to push through that. So, shout out to my boy Josh for being a real co-host, not just being somewhere to chat with me on the podcast, but also somebody that's being there to support me in moments where I just felt like I don't feel like doing this no more. Y'all be okay if Jack That Podcast ain't here, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all good. But I was like, you know what? About to push for it. Because tell you the truth, actually, we were not supposed to have any more guests going after November.
Oh,
We weren't
really?
supposed to have any more. We weren't supposed to have any more guests for the year. We were just gonna push it, just me and him. And I'm like, nah, you know what? Forget this. Like, we going back hard. I got out of my rut. We rebooking this thing back out, and we was booked out. The last 2 episodes for season 1,
Mm-hmm.
we chose to keep with just the 2 of us, and that was on purpose. Like, we could have had guests there. We had our first live episode where, again, like I was mentioned to you before we got on, not to mess around with stuff right before you stream, because my cameras went out halfway through. I lost Silky and Rico, and I'm just like, no, I
Oh,
can't
damn.
fix it. And so I was just like, no, this is not it. So I had to fix
Mm-hmm.
that. But I didn't end up fixing it. So they was gone for like the whole part. They were talking, but you couldn't see them.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's just trying to make sure that you get to a point where you say, you know what, I need to encourage myself. And I think I ended up putting out a tweet a little bit after that, saying, why encourage? There's a song from one of my good artists, album artists I listen to, Fred Hammond. There's a
Mm-hmm.
line in one of his songs that said, let me encourage you while I encourage me. And like, it's just, reminding myself of that as I'm encouraging other people that I've brought on the show. They are encouraged, like, yo, man, if you didn't bring me on here, like, I wouldn't have known this, or, you wouldn't help me. Cause I actually felt like I was actually want to stop streaming. And, that little burst of excitement helped push me on. I'm just like, man, I mean, I can't stop doing all that. Like, I was like, dang, I did all that. So I can't stop, I got to keep going. So that's where it kind of just picked up. I called my brother in December. I said, you know what, we got to take this to the next level. What do I got to do to make this happen? I need to, instead of making MetalX2 the front, Jack 10 Podcast got to be the front. So I kind of changed. I did a whole complete overhaul. Now the main Twitch link is now Jack 10
I saw that.
Pod right now. Yep. And we have our mascots from. So if you think of Jack 10, if you ever played the games Mega Man Battle Network
Mm-hmm.
on the Game Boy Advance and the DS, there's a lot of parts and even have an anime about it too. Land, which is Mega Man's actual owner, he's actually a pet inside of a device, and he said Mega Man Jack in. And with that whole scene, I'm just like, oh, jacked in. And then we had a whole hashtag created, hashtag stay jacked in, and that's where a lot of that's come from. So you'll see on the layout, the Mega Man Battle Network version of Mega Man, you have Forte there, and then there's a couple pictures faded in. Evermore did, like, he did a kick-ass job on it. But then you'll see a Mega Man Forte, Mega Man Battle Network version, Forte version, where they're fused together as well. That's faded in the art. So it's just like, that's gonna be the focus from now on. We're doing Jack 10 Podcast to the end. So Jack 10 Podcast, we could be playing games, whether we on our night or Wednesday at 9:00 where we talk on our podcast, or whether we playing Smash. That's what Jack 10 Podcast we doing now.
Let's go.
So
Y'all better keep pushing.
that's the focus. Look, and y'all also gotta check out. Y'all gonna hear it. I don't know if y'all gonna hear it first. I gotta talk to my bro first, but season 2, we're gonna have a different song. We're gonna have one of Six Ring's newest singles, that's gonna be the intro and the outro for that track as well. I heard he let me hear a little bit of it. I don't want to spoil it, but let me tell you, that boy is hype. Listen, you don't want to pause and rewind it just from hearing the intro and outro. There's gonna be links to his single when he drop it. But it's so much fire. I can't
Because
wait.
the intro you got now is fire.
Yeah,
The first time I heard it, I was like, damn.
Yeah, that's season 1 flex right there. That's
Uh-huh.
season 1 flex. So
Because
Yep. But
it
I'm
started on the second episode. Back to that
yeah,
first
exactly.
episode.
Yeah. The first episode I was plugging my boy.
Yeah.
My boy, he's a local Toronto artist. So I had him on my first episode, but then I was like, okay, I gotta change it up a little bit. I gotta be
Hmm.
consistent. Do I switch or do I keep going? So then I switched it in and then kind of rep my bro on there. But you know what? I'm trying to represent everybody. We trying to get everybody doing a little bit of everything. My boy Stripes, he draws. His art is
Hmm.
crazy. Like, I want to get some of his art on there. It's just like I want to get everybody that's doing a little bit of everything. And once we all pushing that weight together, man, we be at the next stage. And then when I get to the stage, I don't go up there and stand by myself. No, I got the whole squad. I got all y'all behind me in spirit. So regardless, y'all looking at me now on this podcast, y'all see just my face, just know that all y'all here with me, because I wouldn't be here without y'all. That's 100% a fact.
Yeah. That's okay. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
And I do see where where did I just see it? He said Metal X, one of the most positive brothers out here. And I'm gonna have to agree with that. That caught my attention while you was talking. I was like, okay, that's what's up. Because whether I see you on Twitter or when I have a conversation with you, it's all the positivity is always there, man. Keep that energy. That energy is where you're at now. And then of course your squad and family that has been there
Yeah,
for you.
yeah,
So shout out to the fam bam. Shout out to the
yeah,
squad,
for
And
sure, for
so,
sure.
yes, guys, I'm going to throw down this Jacked In podcast link one more time. If you have not already went over there and followed, then what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Like, man, you be sleep. You sleep if you haven't already hit that link. Like, what? Why are you still standing here or sitting here listening to me talk and you haven't hit that damn link? Okay. You're going to regret it later. So y'all make sure that y'all go over there and follow Jacked In Pod. Once again, before you go again, since we're at the end, plug in your socials one more time for me.
Oh, okay, for sure. So you want to check out the podcast, jackedinpodcast.com. From that website, you have in the upper right corner our links to our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Everything is Jacked In Pod on Twitter. Like I said, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, Jacked In Pod are there. And if you on any major platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, we just recently got dropped into Pandora. And once Amazon Music, their
That's what's
platform is
up.
actually in beta stage right now.
That's what's
Once their
up.
platform drops, then Jacked In Podcast is going to be on Amazon Music as well. So literally anywhere that has a link that you can listen to podcasts, I guarantee you type in Jacked In Podcast, you're going to find us on there.
Let's go. Let's go. Y'all heard it here. So
Yep.
yeah. So I appreciate you so much for coming on, letting us dig into your life and get to know you. You like you said on Twitter, you're always the person that's on the other side of the table. So this was very interesting just to hear a little bit more about
Mm-hmm.
you. So yeah, if nobody else have any questions, we are about to go. I love to spread love and rate somebody. What I'm planning on doing from now on is I'm just gonna host when I get off versus rating.
Right.
And so yeah, but I appreciate everybody that stopped by. My mods that was here to mod, I appreciate it. I love y'all. I love y'all. Shout out to Metals fam and squad because y'all was in here deep, showing love. Y'all was in
I
here
see
deep,
y'all out
deep.
there.
Yeah, y'all was in here doing the damn thing. So yes, but okay. I guess this is farewell. I appreciate you for
Until
coming
next
on.
time.
Exactly. I'm definitely going to be having you back on though. So this is not the
Until
last
next
time
time.
y'all going to see him. So yeah. But all right, y'all. We about to go. As I always say, it's your girl RMB and I'm checking out. Peace.